Hello and welcome everybody to Around Battleground. My name is LHS and this is one of our mini interviews for this week. I'm sitting down with one of the, I don't think you call him a rookie in any way, but one of the young wonderkins of the Smite League right now. We've got SoloOrTroll. How you doing, bud?
I'm all right. I'm good.
All right. So a lot of hype around you this season. I mean, you've been around for a while now. How many seasons have you played Smite for now?
6 seasons since season 1. I started like right at season 1. Came out of beta.
And have you played all 6 competitively, or?
No. Just season 4. It was like when I first started, but I was like in Combine, with Paul, Shing, Madman Mark. Then season 5 was when I first started SML.
Very cool. And I mean, ever since then, like you've just been like a shooting star up. And it feels like, you know, all these other roles have kind of had like their lulls, but it really feels like right now we're kind of in that like golden age for like solo laners right now. I mean, there's so much talent and there's so much talent but you and Mando both are probably the two guys everyone's eyeing up right now is like when are they getting called up? Like, and it's like a matter of time before one of you guys gets. I don't know if you technically beat him up again with, you know, being a sub for SPL this season, but, you know, we'll see how that shakes out now that they're looking for another solo laner. You know, how does it feel to be like right now regarded as like one of the next great solo laners for Smite and going in the SPL? Like, it's a foregone conclusion at this point. People are starting to think.
It feels great, honestly. It boosts my motivation and inspiration like every day. Like, I'm like, people just keep saying like, oh, you know, you're really good, you're the next in line, and it just kind of keeps me going, keeps me chugging along. So really good feeling.
So earlier, you know, this year, obviously you know, were subbing in for Splice, in for Divios, and you got a taste of what the SPL action was like. What was that experience like? I know you won one game, you ended up losing the set, but like overall, how was the experience?
It was great. The SPL part was a little terrifying because it was like everyone's watching, because it's kind of like the talk of the talk that week, and like those few weeks is like Spice's first game from Worlds. Every Spice fan's gonna be watching. There's a sub. Every pro. The big part is every pro's gonna be watching because it's a sub and they want to see how the sub's gonna do. And versus Rival and Spice are two big teams. And in hindsight, the YouTube video, the VOD, it got like 220,000 views. So it's like one of the most watched SPL games. Like League. I think it's the most watched League game, non-World Championship.
Oh wow!
And it was just kind of nerve-wracking. I was definitely very nervous, but yeah, kind of intimidating a little bit.
Now, even though, like, would you say that you like took away a lot from that experience, like you being in comms with everybody? I mean, I don't know how closely Kabam worked with you as a coach. Like, when you came out of that experience, like, what did you get out of it as a player?
Oh, I literally increased like my skill, like rose way up. Because we scrimmed SP, like every SPL, not every SPL team. We scrimmed a lot of SPL teams throughout the week, besides Rival and Dig. Scrim, Trifecta, Luminosity, United, all these other teams, and I did very well in like each scrim. Like literally, I never like did bad. I think the only time I actually got farmed was versus PK, which we all got farmed. But every other team, I had at least one solo kill. Most like versus the bottom teams, I sold them off cooldown. And the games were just stuff like that. But I definitely learned a lot about the meta, especially that meta. Knowing like playing versus the top players and knowing like what's best. Like what to build and stuff like that was very useful.
So now you did your time up there. Then so I forget, like you weren't playing. You're playing with Armada now, but you weren't always playing with Armada. Where were you at? You were down in Combine? No, you were down in Combine. Yeah. So that was it was rough, right? Because I mean, there was a lot of talent. There was like a lot of talent that ended up down in Combine because of some weird SML stuff. Like, you know, how big was like just like the kind of like the aftershock of like, oh, I was just in the SPL this week, and then next week you're back down in the Combine. It's like, oh, this is weird.
Honestly, I didn't feel that. I didn't really feel too much like. Well, I mean, obviously, I felt like, you know, I just played SPL. Why am I in Combine? But it was kind of like I've been in Combine before that, so I was like used to it. I just know it kind of just increased my motivation. It's like, well, I played at SPL and I, did fine in scrims and all that, and I did okay in the set. And it's like I could probably, we should be combine. So it was like, it's just gotta let the time do its thing.
Did any of your routine, the scrims, or anything like that kind of change after you had your time as a sub with Splice? Because obviously everyone kind of watched that game, and it was, they lost, but I can't necessarily say that Solo was the reason the team lost. It was kind of an overall type thing. Obviously he's not Divio, so you have question marks there, but overall you held your own in lane. So coming out of that, did that change like any of the scrim opportunities you guys got? Because you were part of like a combine team that was, with the new relegation promotion stuff, was headed towards there. So you were gonna be in the SML regardless of whatever happened, with Armada, with Baskin. But the quality of scrims or anything like that, did that change after you kind of got on the big stage?
No, because we didn't scrim at all on our combine team, so we didn't scrim. And also, the SML things were announced like way later. After I subbed the combine going to SML, because before it was just the bottom SML team had to lose every single game, or had to like go like 0-18 or something like that.
They had to like not win.
Not win 2 sets, I think.
Yeah,
or
two
games,
sets.
Yeah,
it was just 2 games. Yeah, that was right. It was such a weird like.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah, it was stupid. And we actually we thought maybe SSG would end up losing all their games, but they eventually won 2. And dude, Armada kind of trolling a little bit, but it's beside the point. We didn't really scrim. Nothing really changed too much from the fact that just some jokes in ranks and just was joking around in rank.
Okay. After that, you played along, you guys were either first every week or second, depending on how subs and everything broke out. You and gotta give my shout out to Kiermy's team, just my boys. But obviously, you guys didn't scrim, you guys were always coming in first, and then now you got the call up to Armada to replace Baskin. I mean, that's got to feel good, right? When you're called in to, not only you get called in to replace Divio, so that's got to feel good, and then you get called in to replace Baskin, right? Like,
yeah,
it's good company to be in. How did it feel to get that call from Armada and be like, okay, now this, it's not exactly the call up you were looking for, but it's like the first step into that?
It felt definitely very great. Placing Divios is probably my number one idol. Playing Smite, like, he's honestly like a good reason why I'm like playing competitive and why I kept going, because like he was a young player, really good at the game, winning lands, stuff like that, season 1, season 2, and it's like I really want to do that. And so I always watch Divios to get better and stuff like that. But with Baskin, I always look at the Baskin. He's a good friend of mine, and we talk like all the time. And it was just like I'm like I'm replacing Baskin right now.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
What was like the difference in team environment? Obviously, going from your combine team, right, where you're not scrimming. I'm assuming Armada, even though they're steamrolling everybody, they're still getting those scrims in, and even probably at their level, with those level of players, getting SPL scrim partners at that point. Was there like any kind of adjustment period for you to get into that? Kind of talk to us about that experience of getting in that because that's a high level like team environment.
Yeah, they didn't scrim at all like for a while, and I got on and I was like, "Yo, fellas, I think we should probably scrim a little bit just so we don't get embarrassed by console players." And so, we scrimmed a few times versus like SSG and stuff, and went pretty well. I think we won most, and it wasn't much of an adjustment. I just kind of went and played the game like I normally do, because I think I'm at that level, above that SML level, and around that like above. I feel like I'm above that. So like that was just like playing the game. I have to like adjust her too much.
Okay. Obviously, you kind of pointed out that you didn't want to get embarrassed by any of the consoles teams. I've kind of seen some of the behind the scenes for the console stuff. I've seen them kind of scrim some PC teams. Do you think there's any chance? I mean, Hype Unit and Rival are both pretty good console teams. Do you think they have any chance to take a game off of either the SML squads with you and was it you, Sanguine, Simplicity, and Flashpoint? Could they take any games off of you? And then, obviously, is there any chance in hell they make it through like the next day to the SPL players?
I think there's a very small chance. I think Hype Unit primarily can take games off Flashpoint, but Genetics said it best, and I think in my chat he was like, the way Flashpoint plays, like Johnny, the jungler, they play an aggressive, like kind of stompy style, and if the boxers aren't used to that, then it might be trouble for them. I'm not sure if they're using keyboard or controllers. If they're using controllers, they're all not at a disadvantage. And I feel like if they're using a keyboard, then it's like they're not. They've been playing Smite for like years on a controller, so I feel like they're gonna be not used to keyboard. Um, I think maybe I don't think Outcold can beat us at all. I think maybe Nemesis could. The NA PS4 team, they seem pretty good. They're like old.
Really?
Yeah. Jumpa, Kovi, I think those guys, they seem pretty good. Yeah, I think probably Hyperion is probably the favorite to come out, I'd say, out of all of them. But I still don't think it'll happen. But
because I know that they will have the ability to use, mouse and keyboard for that, and so I don't know. For you, if I'm a solo laner, I'm thinking, really looking at it. If my competition is a console player, like if you had to go against, Wolves is a guy who everybody says if he were to make the jump to PC, he could get a spot at a very high level tomorrow. Like that, like just the way that he plays the game. Shaking his head.
Nah, dude.
You don't put the respect on the box solo laner legend?
I mean, there's been a lot of boxers that play box and then they go to PC, like Keegsmate, Paul, Sino. They've been successful, but I think I've never seen him play competitive too much. Like I've watched his games. I don't know how like good he is or be good in is right now with how stacked the role is. I don't think he could just jump on and just get in there. I mean, he could probably replace like the bottom two solo laners, but I don't think he could like get on a high team.
Right, but I think even just coming off of the box and going into like SPL tomorrow, like if you're replacing Zalea or if you're replacing Ducky or replacing whoever, like that's still impressive at this level, considering who's waiting in the SML, who's waiting in the Combine, and then my original point though was I don't think a solo laner on the box has as much disadvantage against a solo laner on the PC, especially during the laning phase. I mean, you're not auto attack really focused the same way. You've got more stuff kind of in front of you. You're going to be able to hit your buttons just as well as you're going to be able to hit keys at that point. Are you expecting kind of an easier time with the console? Or are you putting it sounds like you're putting a lot of faith in your abilities just to overcome whatever they've got.
Yeah, I think this my team. I think they're all experienced. I think the biggest thing overall about this SML console tournament is that the PC players have way more experience than the console players, competitive at least a higher level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mass played at Worlds like multiple times at least, or just played in SPL. They've all played in SPL, like Snoopy, obviously, Gino, stuff like that, and I think they have higher experience than console players. I think solo lane is not gonna really probably just gonna go like it usually does, just like fight a little bit, or just clear the waves, farm, rotate, stuff like that. I think it depends more on who does better in team fights. I don't think I'm gonna get soloed at all by any of the console players. I think I'm just gonna farm and just play it safe. But if they make a mistake, I'm obviously gonna take the opportunity and capitalize off of it. But not gonna be looking forward too much, I would say.
Okay. Obviously, I mean, you guys, like you said, you've got the experience, right? So I got to imagine you're thinking you're pretty much favorites to make it out of the first day, right?
I'd say so, yeah, probably. We could obviously get farmed by Flashpoint or Hype Unit, whoever makes it through, but I think I think we can overcome them.
Okay. But say you make it out of that first day, you guys make it in the second day. There's a lot of former SPL talent on your squad. A lot of people saying like this is a team that could be at replacing a bottom SPL team. Do you guys think you'll find success on that second day? Do you guys think you can pull an upset onto these SPL teams?
I'd say hell no. I think versus rival, I think we're absolutely farmed. If we get past second round like Flashpoint or whoever, and then we go for Simplicity in the finals and we lose, we go versus rival. If we win, we go versus Dig. And I think versus either of those teams, I think we just lose.
I respect just like the honesty, like we're good, but we're not that good yet. Yeah, like I appreciate that. Yeah.
I think maybe versus Dig, maybe like there's a 1% chance we could probably beat them. I mean, I'll probably be too hard on us, but we don't scrim. They scrim a lot. They're like undefeated in SPR. If like all these other SPL teams can beat them, then I don't think SoloOrTroll's gonna beat them. So versus rival though, I don't think we have a chance. They're on fire right now. Like, all their players in every role is really good.
All right, we're gonna keep this short and sweet. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. We've got a bunch of content planned for this episode. Is there anything you want to say that we didn't kind of cover? Any shout outs you want to give? The floor is yours. Say whatever you want, man.
Just be sure to watch us play. I think we're gonna have some fun. Should be fun versus Outcloud and whoever. That's all I have to say. Just be sure to watch SML or watch us play. And yeah, follow me on Twitter, SoloOrTroll. Drink water. That's about it.
All right, from the man himself. Thanks for coming by, and best of luck. I know I'll be watching you, and then there's behind the scenes we're hearing a lot of stuff about some roster stuff. I mean, there was the SML roster apocalypse, quote unquote, people are already talking about with a certain team, and then obviously Splice has to replace their solo laner. There's two really good options in you and Mando. Everyone's kind of jockeying. You've already been there, but Mando's also just really good. So which way they're gonna go? And then we're also hearing a lot of other potential roster changes. So I'm expecting to see your name called somewhere in the next coming weeks and seeing you in the SPL.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Also to add to that, Mando's also played at the SPL level. He was on I forgot what his team was called, but SPL Gatekeepers a long time ago.
I think it was it a Mighty Storm or Anxiety Onset? One of those.
It was Team Vigilant and
Vigilant. That's what it was. Yeah, Gatekeepers. He was he was a pain. I will always fight that the best player on that team was Mando. The hell with everybody else. Mando's Cucullin kept them in games. I will always fight for that.
I didn't really watch too much SPL back then, or I stopped watching back then. But I can't really. I don't have an opinion. But to add to the Splice thing, I think they have me, or they could poach some other SPL laner, and if they do that, I'm gonna try and join that SPL team.
All right.
I think I definitely have an advantage over Mando in this, but yeah.
All right, there you go. SoloOrTroll confirmed. He's taking somebody's spot in the SPL. You are fucking exclusive here for Around the Battleground. This is content. All right, thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate it. And like I said, good luck moving forward.
Thank you. Have a good day.